I love riding the train. I love the circus. I'm fourth generation in the circus business. I'm Joe Colossa, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Blue Unit Circus Trainmaster. My job is to run the circus train. We have 61 cars, and it's about a mile long. And I'm in charge of all the animals, the people, the equipment that ride on the train. I'm in charge of moving the show from city to city. And I also am in charge of maintaining the circus train.
The early morning sun spotlights wagons with a distinct signature clattering along the string of flat cars. They're a sure sign that the greatest show on earth is about to reveal its galaxy of wonders for children of all ages in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Wagons and vehicles of all sizes and shapes lumber down the runs, as this well-traveled ramp is known in circus jargon. On an adjacent track, another sturdy ramp groans under the weight of 8 ponderous pachyderms and 17 horses that have made the overnight journey from Boston.
So a week before we play a city, I'll call ahead and I'll talk to either the superintendent or one of the trainmasters, and we'll go over our plan about how the train will be broken apart and split up and spotted, because the train can be in multiple places. You have to always pay attention to that. When you load your train, you've got to have your train loaded and ready to be unloaded in the right direction when you arrive in the next town. It's here in Bridgeport. The animal cars and the souvenir cars are right here where we stand. The flat cars are over about 1,000 feet closer to the Northeast Corridor, the main line, and they're including these cars. This is all in the Metro North Connecticut Transportation Facility.
Due to limited space at this Northeast commuter rail facility, circus train sleepers, or coaches as they're better known to the locals, have been parked in a CSX rail yard some 30 miles distant. From there, the 350 or so people who call these cars their home on the road will be bused to and from the arena.
To unload the train, I mean, it depends on the situation. Some conditions are better than others. The best we've ever unloaded it is about 3 hours. The longest is probably 5 to 6. Once it comes off the train, we have a transportation department, and they'll take over. As soon as I unload it, they'll come in with local tow trucks, and they'll coordinate with them, and they will move the equipment to the building, and the transportation will also take care of moving the wagons and the equipment around at the facility, at the building. So we're running and trying to get the show loaded in and ready to go to make that opening.
It will all come together 36 hours later. The opening night celebration of Dragons is a multisensory spectacle of people, animals, lighting, and music. Colossa admits he takes more than a casual interest in one act in particular.
Yeah, my wife Carmen, she is with the Torres family. They do the Globe of Steel. They do 8 motorcycles at once inside the globe. They're in the show.
For many youngsters, experiencing the circus just wouldn't be the same without mom or dad buying a lighted toy or a box of popcorn. That White Colonel snack was responsible for launching the career of the circus train overseer.
I joined the show in 2000 as a popcorn vendor, and really just came out on the show just for a few months, and that was going to be it. And worked my way up in concession management to assistant general manager at concessions. But my love, of course, is the circus, but also the circus train. I always loved the circus train. And I used to always bug the show to let me come over and start out as assistant trainmaster, and the question always was, do you know anything about trains? And I said, well, sure, I know a lot about trains. Did you ever work on them? No. Well, if you never worked on them, we can't help you out. Well, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I kept bugging them until they finally allowed me to come on as assistant trainmaster. That was about 5 years ago, and I was assistant trainmaster for 3 years, and I've been trainmaster now for almost 2 years. The whole get-up's my responsibility, so I've got to try to make sure that things go as efficiently as possible. I got to work with the railroad. I mean, it's all timing.
And as circus goers are leaving the arena at the close of the final performance in Bridgeport, the 14-person train crew is ready to take on its cargo.
The show ended at about 7:15. Meanwhile, we came out, my train crew and I came out to the flat cars and started loading at about 7 o'clock. So they'll have the towing company will show up at the buildings and they will bring the equipment back to the flat cars. Once it arrives at the flat cars, it becomes my responsibility to get it up onto the train, loaded and tied down. Loading takes 7 to 8 hours if we don't run into any problems. And then when we get to the next town, they will set the ramps right here, and then we'll unload in that direction. What we're doing now is we loaded up the first cut of cars, and the railroad just showed up, and they're going to be doubling over the animal cars and souvenir cars over to that first cut of flats that we've got loaded. And we are now loading up wagons and equipment on the second cut of cars, and we're hoping to be finished up here in about another hour and a half. And we've got a 4 o'clock window that we got to make to clear Metro North. So we have to make it to New Haven by 5 o'clock, no later than 5. We are just now wrapping up, loading the cars. We're picking up the ramps, and it's about 10 after 2 in the morning. We have a 4 a.m. window to make with Metro North. Looks like we're going to make it. And we should be departing out of here at about 3 a.m. and heading to North Haven.
As the loadout nears the end of its time and labor-intensive process, Colossa receives some welcome news from his wife back in the trainmaster suite.
And she has dinner ready on the table, 2 o'clock in the morning. She said, come on home and get it.
And what time do you hope to be pulling out of the Grove yards?
Well, we're scheduled for 8. If I can get out by 7, an hour ahead, I'd be happy. So give me a little cushion. From here, we go to Rochester. We'll play there for a week. And then we go to Pittsburgh, PA. We play there for a week. And then Auburn Hills, Michigan. That'll be our final week on this tour, this 2-year tour of Dragons. And after that final show, we'll load the train up and we go on a 1,300-mile journey to winter quarters in Tampa, Florida. And when we arrive in Tampa, we'll unload the show like we always do. They'll take everything over to the winter quarters, and they'll start to prepare to put together the 144th edition of the show.
Watching the Ringling Brothers Blue Unit train pull out of the Bridgeport, Connecticut rail yards, I'm Lane Talbert. See you down the line.